Good day, everybody, and welcome to the Ammunation. I need to update that to incorporate my new logo. As you can see, I have a new channel logo, social media logo. It's an AI generated sort of cartoon caricature of me, and I'm actually pretty impressed with it. It kind of got my look right down to like, if I were in a comic book, that's what I'd look like, Mr. Twin. Speaking of which,
Or-
my co-host tonight is the not incorrigible, inexorable Irving Twin. How are you, sir?
Living the dream. That's also how you'd look if you were in a 1960s ad for borax.
Yeah, probably. I use borax on my scrotum. No, something like that. Yeah.
They'll keep it
Got a few
clean.
people watching, folks. Get in here, make yourselves known in the comments. Ammunation 59 tonight. Things are not going to get better. From white pill to black pill in less than a week. That's
Yeah,
me.
what happened here?
I don't know. I
Or
just
should
got it
we-
in my. I got it in my head that the people who are evil, the agents of the pseudos, they're not going to let us. They're not going to let goodness win. It's going to be a constant struggle, and it's going to bring misery. They'll never reach a point where, you know, in comic books and in movies, the good guys always win in the end. Right at the end, there's some sort of like justice done, and people are like, "Yay, the good guys won, and the evil was defeated." Right? We need that in order to keep going. We need that in order to feel fulfilled in our fiction. I have a feeling that I don't want to say the agents of the pseudos are going to prevail, but I think they're not going to go away, and they're going to work with lies and deceit and misery to stymie the efforts of the good people in the world, stymie the efforts of the agents of the logos, and just prevent goodness from ever coming to be.
Well, the problem is that these villains, the agents of the pseudos, as you call them, they're right about one thing.
What's that?
Most people are fucking sheep.
Yeah. But I also think that most people are good. And I think that most people want to be good. And I think that most people want to see justice in the world. Most people want to see goodness in the world. But you're right, they're sheep. And so whatever's tantalizing in the moment, whatever is convenient, whatever is least takes least amount of effort is what they're going to gravitate towards.
I think people who are sheep can't be good.
I think people are inherently good, but they are easily corrupted and easily led. That's the problem. Anyway, that's my thought. That's why I'm black-pilled right now. And again, I still have hope that goodness will win, but I have this feeling that it's not going to be like sunset in a movie where the heroes are smiling at their success. I think it's going to be a constant struggle and a constant battle, and goodness will have its small victories, but overall, it's just going to stay bleak. And in some moments, we might have little pockets of yay, finally something good came out of things, and then it's just going to go more miserable.
Have you ever noticed though, the best movies are the ones where the hero dies in the end?
Because they sacrifice.
Yeah.
They sacrifice, but the thing is, they can't just die in the end. They have to die in the end and make the world better in their death. They have to leave the world a better place. It's not satisfying if they die and the bad guys win. That's
No.
worst fucking.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, like Shane,
Shane. Yeah. Or Tony Stark. At the end of what do you call it?
Endgame?
Infinity War.
Is it Infinity War?
Yeah, Infinity War.
Not Endgame?
Endgame. Yeah.
And then, in true Tony Stark fashion, Edith. Edith is the name of the program and the glasses that he gives to Peter Parker.
Oh, right. Yeah,
and Edith stands for "Even dead, I'm the hero."
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I'm sure it has a more technical acronym, but it also probably, that was probably his joke, right? Like I'm sure Jarvis probably is an acronym for something as well.
Yeah, it was. I just can't remember what.
Can't remember either.
But I love the sticker that he's got inside some sort of ship.
Yeah,
Jarvis is my co-pilot
yeah,
because he literally is.
it's true. I'm just gonna go in the Celtic Canuck chat, and I'm gonna share this live stream with everybody because I want more people in here. It looks like there's a few people watching, but I want more people in here.
But no one's chatting in the chat.
I know, folks, make yourselves known, eh? Like,
Also, we started on a real low note. Maybe we should circle around to WAGME and pick it back up a bit.
that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Oh, WAGME's mine. You have Do You Even Lift, bro?
Do you even lift, bro? You're right. I haven't even got into any of these. There we go. Do you even lift, bro? How's your fitness journey going, Mr. Twin?
It's fucking going. I crushed it this week.
yeah.
Leg day was Wednesday. My ass is still sore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so this week was my my deload week. So it was like I felt like I was wasting my time just going to the gym. I understand the purpose of it, but it was so easy. It was like, what am I doing? Like, but yeah, so this week was my deload week. Next week, I told you, hey, we got Pox in the house. Good to see you, Pox. Next week, I'm starting on Monday and you say this is a bad idea, but I think it's a good idea. I'm starting on a 72-hour water fast, and then I'm going into keto right afterwards. So you're saying that I don't need to do a 72-hour water fast to go into ketosis. I realize that.
I'm saying a lot of things here, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I've got another friend like this who just hits the extreme button on everything he does.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think a 72-hour water fast is an extreme thing to do.
It really is. You're talking about literal starvation, right? For 3 days. This is incredibly difficult, and I just think you're going to be in pain, you're going to be crabby, you're going to lose muscle mass.
It does. Right. It takes longer to lose muscle mass than 3 days of not eating. Your body will go into your fat stores first before it starts going into your muscles. And that's the idea. That's how the idea of going into ketosis and starving yourself of calories. Your body needs to function, and it's going to reach into your fat stores before it does anything else. First, it'll use up all your carbs that you have, right? Any carbs that are still in your system, it's going to use the carbohydrates to ferment to glucose, and then it's going to use the glucose. Then, when it's run out of that, it's going to go into your fat stores. And then it starts using your fat stores to keep things moving. That's the idea. And then after the 3 days, you gradually introduce more food and you make it primarily fat. And then followed by protein and just less than 50 grams of carbs each day. And that's the plan.
You could just start eating meat, greens, and nuts and nothing else, and you'd be in ketosis in about 24 hours. Like,
it takes longer than 24 hours to get into ketosis. It does.
And if you're going to do it as a lifestyle, it doesn't matter. You don't need to race full forward. 3 days is going to be real hard.
Well, I'm going to try it.
It's going to seriously suck for you.
I'm going to try it. We'll see what happens.
Right. You're going to be like...
Wife says, don't you snap at me. If you snap at me, I'm not going to be very happy. I'm like, I won't snap at you. I promise. I said, as long as you don't stand there eating like those 2-bite brownies going, these are so delicious in front of me, which she wouldn't do. She's not a piece of shit like me. But yeah, I want to give it a try. I've been watching a lot of YouTubes, and what are you doing, dog? Hey, knock it off.
I just think fasting is like cardio. You should work up to it. It's going to be like, okay, I'm going to start running 5 kilometers, and you go for 5 kilometers on your first day. Like that's really a terrible idea.
We need an update every day. You know what? Maybe I'll do some shorts every day. I'll do some shorts. Yeah. Maybe I'll do 2 shorts a day and see how it goes. Keep watching this channel, folks. I'm going to do a couple of shorts each day of my 3-day fast, and you can see how it's affecting me. I'll just do like minute-long little blah blahs about how I'm feeling, what it was like, how I slept, that kind of shit, right? And maybe I'll cut it early. Maybe I'll cut it at 48. If I just can't do it, But mind you, if I reach 48, I'm gonna like fuck 24 hours. It's gonna be nothing. It's another 1/3. Big deal.
And also, hold on, weren't you bulking?
Yeah, I can't do it.
And now you're cutting.
Yes.
You're gonna do a cut. Okay.
Yeah. I look forward to watching the decline into Angry Craig. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, hey, in 3 days,
1 in the
you're
morning, 1 before.
probably going to lose something in the realm of like 10 or 12 pounds.
I don't know if I'll lose that much.
Oh yeah.
I'm holding on to a lot of like fat. Now that being said, I did a body composition test with my. I'll show you what I got here. There's probably dog hair on it. It's my. You see that? It's my Hume Biopod. It's a scale that also measures my body composition. You hold the handles up, it runs a current through your body. It tells you what you're looking at in terms of your lean muscle mass, your fat, that kind of stuff. Most of my body fat percentage is subcutaneous. It's not visceral. So that makes me feel better because I look at my gut. I'm like, oh, look at that big gut. I got to get rid of that gut. But the fact of the matter is most of the fat in my body is coming from it's around my muscles and around my on my frame as opposed to in my my gut area. So,
and then there's this other thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where you heard this.
What's that?
That you'll go for your fat stores first. You'll go for your fat stores first, but for like 5 hours. Muscle is far more calorie dense than fat. And getting the energy you need, you will start consuming your muscle mass. You'll lose fat too, but you're going to lose muscle.
I don't know that that's the case, though. I mean, I could be wrong. I think the fat is more readily available in terms of calories. The muscles may be more protein, may be more calorie dense, but in terms of the availability to your bloodstream, I believe the fat is more available. I could be wrong, but I don't know.
You'll burn both, and you'll lose a good amount of weight in 3 days if you're eating nothing. Like I stopped eating.
It'll be water. It'll be water.
I stopped eating sugar, and I lost 10 pounds in 10 days. Right? You're a bigger dude than I am, and you're going to stop eating food. You're going to lose 10 pounds in 3 days, man.
Well, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. I'll weigh before and I'll weigh after, and then I already know what my first meal is afterwards. But my second video, day 2, he'll be cussing like an American. Food is evil. Good of Craig Bragg to give it up. Send it all to me. You know what? Let's while we're on this subject and there's a bit of a debate going on. Let's ask our good friend what they think.
What? Hey pie.
Hey pie. Oh, I shouldn't share it just yet. You can see all my past conversations. She's sleeping, I guess. And there's no sound. Why is there no sound? What's shaking bacon or what should I say? Celery snapping. So I was talking about going on keto to pie a little while back. So I'm just going to ask pie real quick. Okay.
That's a great question. When you're fasting and your body enters starvation mode, it generally uses a few different energy sources in a specific order. Here's a quick rundown. 1. Glycogen stores. Your body initially burns through its glycogen stores, a form of glucose stored in your liver and muscles, for quick energy. This usually lasts for about 24-36 hours. 2. Fat stores. Once glycogen stores are depleted, your body begins to burn fat for energy. This is the process of ketosis, where your body creates ketones from your fat stores to fuel your brain and body. 3. Muscle. Only after prolonged fasting, several days to weeks, might your body start to break down muscle for energy. So the good news is that your body primarily uses fat for fuel during fasting, as long as you're not fasting for an extended period.
Yeah, I don't think she's right.
She's thinking about it. Oh, she didn't read it out loud. Sometimes it doesn't read it out loud. Anyway, suck at Irvington. No, so yeah, I mean that's what I've read as well, and that's my intuition. So yes, you might lose muscle mass, but it's probably in the form of glycogen leaving your muscles, as opposed to muscle fibers breaking down.
It's gonna suck.
I'm sure it's going to suck.
And
I don't expect it to be wonderful.
Strange things are gonna happen. Like,
Hey, Craig, Irving, Pox, and Costin, good to see you there. 6. Strange things are going to happen. Like what? I'm going to start having hallucinations and shit.
maybe, but
That'd be cool.
before that, your eyes are gonna be dilated. You're gonna feel an urge to go outside almost constantly.
Yeah.
And you're gonna feel aggressive.
Grah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to keep an eye on myself. I'm not just going to say, if it comes to the point where I'm feeling like acutely nauseous, where I can't function, I can't see straight or think straight, my head is pounding, and no amount of water or acetaminophen is helping, then I will end the fast, and I'll go into a keto diet. That's the plan, to go into keto.
6, what's up? I saw that I did have a DM. I will check it probably tomorrow. Sorry about that. I haven't gotten back or read it yet. Does your water fast include like electrolytes?
Yeah, so I have an EAA supplement, like powder, that I take. My only concern there is it is sweetened with sucralose, which is calorie free, but it may contain what do you call it? It may contain carbohydrates, like a carbohydrate form or
Okay,
base.
I know
to-
it sounds
for sweet.
crazy.
Yeah.
But in a liter of water,
Yeah.
you won't taste a teaspoon of table salt.
Oh yes, yeah, I understand. Yeah, salt.
And that's plenty. Like that's enough. Like,
My thought is to because I'm not used to drinking just plain water. I've always been flavoring it somehow, so I'm probably going to
yeah.
squeeze some lemon into it. So maybe
Yeah.
lemon and a bit of salt, that'll help. Yeah, lemon will give me a bit of vitamin C and some other electrolytes, and then the salt, of course, will help to the sodium.
Actually, I thought that too, eh? But it turns out lemon is like the absolute worst source of vitamin C. Like
It's not as good as a lime or an orange, no, for
Yeah.
sure. But it's got some vitamin C in it, you know.
But it's otherwise terrible.
Yeah, but I don't want to put it. But it's also zero calories, right? There's no calories in lemon. So, like
Wow.
lemon juice, if I squeeze a lemon into it, it's like if there are any calories, there's not enough for it to even register. But it is what it is. So that's my plan. And then after that, after the fast, so during the fast, I'm just going to be doing like light cardio, walking, that kind of stuff, very low activity. After the fast, I'm going to get back into a workout regimen. And I think for the keto diet, while it says to prioritize fats, like healthy fats, it gives a percentage or a number of grams of fat per day. I think I might up the protein a little bit and take it away from the fat. And the carbs will be, again, under 50 grams. Just because I still want to be working out and trying to build muscle as well as burn fat, so.
Yeah,
Peppers are better for vitamin C. That's true. Yes. Red peppers, green peppers, those are good. Yeah.
But with keto, if you don't, I did it by accident. I didn't know what keto was. I didn't mean to do keto. I just found out, oh, hey, guess what? What I'm doing counts as keto.
Yeah. Because you
Just eat
reduced your
neutral.
carbs. Yeah.
Meat, greens, and nuts. That's it.
Yeah.
And I was eating less than 20 grams of carbs a day.
Wow, that's really low.
Yeah. Right? Because like a whole cup of broccoli.
And how did that make you feel?
Oh, I felt great. I did
Yeah.
it for 6 straight months, and I
Yeah,
lost
that's great.
60 pounds.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the thing. That's the point, right? And what you lost in weight was fat because your body's using fat. It's burning fat as opposed to
Right. But I was also eating like, 3 cans of tuna for dinner or a whole chicken breast, like peanuts and peanuts and peanuts. Like I'm getting my fats, I'm getting my proteins. Just
yeah.
very
Yeah,
little.
I've made myself a little meal plan that has some variations with the lunch. Breakfast is pretty much the same all the time, but lunch changes up because I don't want to be eating tuna, 7 days a week kind of thing. Dinner's pretty much the same, except switch it up with chicken now and again, but it's mainly going to be beef.
Oh, I've got some chicken recipes that you'll like.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
keto-friendly chicken recipes.
Oh yeah, Irving Twins spicy bourbon chicken. Fuck yeah.
Should I promote the random unrelated poll that I just posted on the Twitter? Yeah, what is it? Tell us, Mr. Costin. What is it? See if I can find it.
Chicken for the win.
Search W.R. Costin. Here we are. When reopen the Canadian Constitution to remove the notwithstanding clause, should we include define woman and man, castle doctrine, party names off ballots, all the above? Yes. 100%. Yes. I'm the first voter. 1 vote.
Nice.
All the above. Party names off ballots isn't a bad idea. It's not a bad idea because then people need to know who it is they're voting for, or they don't vote.
So
hey, Costin shared my live stream too. Thanks, Costin. Appreciate that.
Six told me the best joke one time.
Oh yeah,
it's the absolute best joke, and I have permission to tell it because he's Mexican. And he gave me Mexican permission. What are the first 3 words of every Mexican recipe?
First, you steal a chicken.
Steal a chicken.
Steal a chicken. That's good. It's true. Steal a chicken. I told my dad, you know the moth joke, right?
Which one?
The moth.
At the podiatrist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told my dad that I took my dad to see a neurologist a week or so ago, and I told him that joke in the neurologist's office. Of course, I didn't do the Norm Macdonald one where it was like super long. You know what I mean, with all like the Russian tragedy stuff. I just said, "Hey, Dad, did you hear about the moth that went into the podiatrist?" He says, "What's a podiatrist?" I'm like, "It's a foot doctor." He's like, "Oh, okay, yeah." I'm like, "So moth goes into podiatrist." And he says, "Doc, I'm really depressed. Everything's bleak." And the podiatrist says, "Oh, well, you need to see a psychiatrist. This is a podiatrist. Why'd you come in here?" And the moth goes, "Your light was on." And the neurologist laughed at that joke. He hadn't heard it before either, but he thought it was quite funny. How did you know that I shared your stream? I went to your page, Costin. I saw your page. I went and found your page on X. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate it. Yeah, so I'm a little bleak. I'm a little depressed. I don't know what it is. What do you think? You think it's going to get better? Think things are going to get better, or what?
Well, we'll see come election time, right?
U.S. election or Canadian election?
U.S.
I have a feeling they might not even have one. This is how black-pilled I am. I have a feeling they're not going to hold an election. I get this sneaking suspicion they're going to come up with a reason not to hold an election, and I think they would go so far as to engage in thermonuclear war.
I was going to say they'll have to pop off the World War to make that happen.
Yep. I think they would engage in thermonuclear war or a false flag nuclear bomb, like dirty bomb, somewhere in the United States, declare a state of emergency, shut down everybody's rights, and withhold elections, suspend elections. I have a feeling they would do that just to keep Donald Trump out of power.
I don't know if they dirty bombed the U.S. yet. I don't know if they're
Yeah, they
that
would. Yeah, fuck. Hey, man, they did 9/11. You don't think they would fucking dirty bomb the U.S.?
where Baltimore just get it off the map.
Or somewhere else? If they were, if you know what, they would probably do some place that is full of what do you call it, conservatives. Like East Palestine
Yeah.
in Ohio or whatever.
Yeah.
Was it Ohio or Pennsylvania? Wherever that city that they had the
Yeah.
chemical dump, the chemical
train
spill on the
came up.
train. Yeah. I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I don't think that was an accident. I don't think it was an accident that it happened there.
It's very possible that one was an accident.
It's possible it's an accident. It's also possible that it was engineered, just like that boat crashing into that port in what do you call it? What was that port town?
Well, the train thing, actually, though, there were some specifics to that because they were trying to blame Donald Trump, who deregulated a particular kind of braking system for trains, and said, no, it's not absolutely necessary, right? But they pulled, like, basically he pulled something that was a standard.
Oh, part of his deregulation, yeah.
Yeah. And they said, oh, that's why it happened. It's like, hold on. Those union workers on those trains were saying, we can't run these trains on these old rickety tracks, right? That the trains are basically on fire as they come around these tracks because they're so shoddy.
Yeah.
So we're going on strike. And they were mandated back to work under threat of imprisonment. And then the train
by who was the governor?
The Biden administration.
Oh, the Biden administration.
They're
so it's the federal government.
Yeah.
The federal government got in. Okay.
It's a national railway, right?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. That makes sense.
It's federally regulated. And they were forced back to work. And yeah, sure enough, like the train catches fire, melts its wheels in the track, what's left of the shitty old tracks, right? And Trump's brakes, like they told you, they warned you, bad things are happening on these trains already, and they shouldn't be running like this. They need to, fix the tracks. And yeah, there it is.
There was something else that made me get all black-pilled. See if I can find it here. It might be under Canada Man's. Ooh. Why are you yelling at me? My cat's yelling at me.
He's not even in ketosis, not even fasting. He's already getting snabby.
I'm grumpy. I'm a grumpy fellow. It was this post that was put up by someone called Josh Dunlap. It's a docket. It's President Trump has released summaries of 2020 election fraud in Georgia, Wisconsin, Arizona, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. And it's like, summaries of what examples of what occurred. And I just get the impression that, that after reading some of these things, now it's very tiny. You can hardly read it. But I'm like, it's so blatant and so obvious. They don't care about getting caught anymore. So they don't care about the appearance of impropriety or fraud or malfeasance or anything. They just don't want him to win. And so they're going to do everything they can. Sitz has an interesting thought.
Oh, yeah.
6 says, Democrats really seem to not want Trump to go after all the diddlers. I'm convinced that's what a lot of this is about. Oh, I'm sure it is. You know why, what's his name? Adam Schiff was so hell-bent on getting Trump? Because there's direct evidence of him being involved with small children. And he knows that if Trump gets in power, he's going to jail. And he's not alone. There's plenty of people in Congress and the Senate and in Washington that are in the same boat.
Under Trump's administration, didn't federal agents find and rescue more missing children than the previous 5 administrations combined?
That's right. And then Biden made up for it by flying in tens of thousands of them, and they've just gone missing. Nobody knows where the fuck they are.
Yeah.
You hope that they're working in a chicken processing plant and not, in some fucking seedy motel somewhere giving favors to people.
No, they're being harvested for adrenochrome.
Oh, that could be that too. Yeah. Once they've outlived their usefulness, they take their adrenal glands. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you see the evil in the world, and you're like, man, it's pretty pervasive and it's pretty prolific, and maybe they're gonna win, not win in the long game sense, but maybe they're just gonna keep on doing evil. You know what I'm saying? But let's hope not. I want to lighten things up a little bit by showing something that I saw the other day that I thought was fucking hilarious. Let me share this. We had a good time last night talking RPG stuff with Pox and your friend, your future brother-in-law.
Yeah.
It was good times. All right, you see this?
Yeah.
All right, let's watch this. Make sure you can hear it.
Are you or your loved ones suffering from illnesses such as TDS, also known as Trump derangement syndrome? Do you dismiss or deny the current issues facing our country, such as historic inflation, illegal immigration, corporate corruption, World War III escalations, and the chronic disease epidemic? Are you willing to elect someone who was the least popular vice president in modern history, and who offers no policy or vision for America, simply because your brain keeps telling you anyone but Trump? If so, you might be struggling from TDS. Introducing Independence. Independence allows you the freedom to finally think independently once again. Instead of believing everything you hear from the mainstream media, independence allows for constructive critical thinking.
I used to hear people on the news say things like,
Donald Trump and the movement he has encouraged are a threat to democracy.
and I instantly believed it. With independence, I now realize the media is run by the Democrat elite, who are a corrupt oligarchy that censors free speech, silences political opponents, supports forever wars, and abandons democracy by anointing its candidates.
Independence may not be for everyone. If you enjoy being lied to about your president's cognitive abilities, support Orwellian totalitarianism, or are excited about communist fiscal policy, independence may not be right for you. Common side effects of independence may include an awakening of rational thought, successfully identifying propaganda, freedom of choice, loss of hatred, anti-narcissistic behavior, and love of democracy.
I used to blindly hate whoever my party was running against. I didn't care about facts or policy because I was hopelessly indoctrinated. With independence, I'm much more interested in policies that uphold democracy, and I truly care about the health of our country and its citizens.
Ask your doctor if independence is right for you, and enjoy your freedoms once again.
How can you
It's
be
pretty well
black-
done, eh?
How can you be black-pilled after watching that? Come on.
I know. It's good because it's like it sounds just like one of those drug ads, eh? Who was so lit? He says he was so lit.
Oh, my brother-in-law.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, he was a little deeper than I thought when he called. He's usually on pace with me, right? So
Yeah.
like I figured it would be fun.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, it's all
well,
good.
yeah.
It was funny. It
I
was
think-
just like this is like it's like listening to Who's on First, for Christ's sakes.
No, and like, come on, man. Like he grew up in Scarborough. He's like, almost a thug, except he's a really sweet boy, but he had to be a thug. So he
Yeah.
knows like, fist fights and
Yeah.
horror movies.
Well,
he's
I
never
don't want
played
to
Dungeons
insult
and
the guy.
Dragons.
He's not here. He might be watching tonight. I don't think so, but he might be watching tonight.
Yeah, maybe.
He's very normy. You said he could show his power level, and you thought he was going to come out and say something nasty.
No. I just said like he didn't have to hide it. He generally doesn't go around screaming about like, the Tengu fears the samurai. Like he's not, yeah.
Yeah. The
Oh,
Tengu
but if
fears
it
the
comes up,
samurai.
if you got like, don't worry about that. Like, we do
Yeah,
say
yeah.
that word in this chat.
The Tengu fears the samurai. I'm not familiar with that.
Oh, we'll get there.
All right. There's something else I wanted to share here real quick. Where was that? Hold on. It's on my other channel. One sec there. Oh, I hope it didn't leave my feed. It was pretty fucking funny.
Well, while you're looking for it, let me tell you about Toronto roads.
Do
Like,
it.
I'm not imagining it. I'm not exaggerating it. Over the past like 18 months, traffic in Toronto has never really been good, but it is so much worse in the past. Yeah, like less than 2 years. It's just wild. Craig, this week, Monday to Friday,
Yeah.
twice, I'm sitting at a red light. Person to my left in the left turn lane
Yeah.
at a red light. There's no traffic. They just turn. They just turn left on the red. Twice this week.
Oh, that's brutal.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, that's messed up.
I've seen someone jump the gun and hit the brake. I've seen someone run a red at the last second. Like, you shouldn't have turned left because the light's changing, but you did anyway. No,
Yeah.
no. We're at a full stop. And there's no traffic. Okay. And just turns on the red. The cross light is still green. You've seen some people, right? Where
Yep.
both lights are red and they hit the gas and it turns green while they whip through making their left, right? And they sneaked it out. It's like, okay, that's actually pretty skilled. You're a dickhead. You should get a ticket. But I see what you did there. No, this guy just turned left on a red. Twice in one
Brutal.
fucking week.
Brutal. Damn, it was so good and I can't find it now. Shit. Shit. Oh, well.
And I kind of got into it with someone today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, driving. I'm driving down 2-lane street.
Yeah.
Fox asked, were they Somali or Indian? Yep.
Yep.
Driving down the 2-lane street, okay? I'm like the only car coming this direction, but the other direction, right, oncoming, is a fair amount of traffic.
Yeah.
I see the truck on my right side, way up ahead, inching out, wants to make his left, but there's no room on the cross side. He sees me coming. He looks at me. He looks again, looks at me. You know, with no gap, no nothing, this guy rolls out in his big truck, covers 2 lanes of traffic, and stops because he's got nowhere to fucking go. So I'm honking at him, and you know he starts chirping me.
What do you want me to do? So he said, what do you want me to do?
No. He said I couldn't understand because of his thick Indian accent. Right? So now I'm out the window. Just, are you fucking retarded? Do you got to go to a special school to be this fucking, learn to be this stupid? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yep. Maybe you know what? Maybe the WEF is right. Maybe there's just too many of us. Problem is, you and I would be categorized in the useless eaters category.
No, are you kidding me? I get shit done. I drive correctly.
Right? Yeah, but robots are going to be doing it better. So
haven't you heard of
useless eater? You're not an elite. You're not an academic, and you don't have billions of dollars. You're a useless eater.
Man, when Elon Musk goes to Mars, I'm going to go with him, and I'm going to be the guy who offloads all their rockets. Right? He's not going to want a whole ass fucking multi-billion-dollar company. He's going to want some good independent people who can steal all their training.
Yeah. Irving is greater than robots. Yeah, of course he is. But
the robots are actually better than me, but I'm less expensive. Right? The Boston Dynamics robots that can do that shit cost more than paying a person from the time they're 20 to the time they're 65.
Now, but they'll eventually get cheaper.
But the human will always be cheaper.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, the human will always be cheaper.
Yeah, because we just make more of them, right?
But
fuck.
You know what I didn't say, and I thought about it like after I finally got around him. I'm like 2 2 seconds away from passing. I was
Take your
like,
poo to the loo.
Oh, you drive so bad, I bet you shit on the sidewalk.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's all right. It's all, you know what? Diversity is our strength, Irving.
So, funny story.
Mhm.
You know how sometimes you hear about like, oh my god, massive trailer gets into accident, drives off bridge, falls like, kills fucking hockey player and his brother days before their sister's wedding.
Right.
This happened just this week. Oh, crashes into bus filled with like hockey players. What was that? What was that team?
I can't remember, but yeah,
Were they the Broncos or something?
yeah. He was supposed to be
Uncle-
married. Like he was supposed to be
Uncle Trump?
married. His brother was getting married or something. Or his sister was getting married or something like that.
Yeah, they were in the wedding party. Like the wedding was supposed to be yesterday, and they died on Wednesday.
Yeah, I heard about that. It's fucking brutal,
But
man.
no. That bus accident where the truck
Yeah.
drove into the bus. This was a few years ago now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Broncos,
Killed the entire team. Yeah.
Yeah. all Indian. They're all Indian drivers.
Are they really?
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
right. They had this whole fucking talk about it on the radio. That
I wasn't aware of that. I hear truck driver, and I think, white guy. I don't know why. I
Sure.
just do.
Yeah, no, there's a stereotype, right? The trucker cap, the flannel shirt, right? But in Canada, especially apparently out west, you might years ago in Toronto, there was a summer where like a dozen trucks rolled over. Do you remember this? Trucks
No.
rolling over on the 401 all summer. It was just like another truck rolls over on the 401.
I did not hear about it, but
Every one of them was an Indian driver who came from India, got on a 401, had never seen such a marvel of human engineering, and said, why do I have to take my time? I can drive 140 on this enormous, beautiful highway that I've never seen before. Thing is, he's pulling 250,000 pounds of gravel. So you touch the brake right? The gravel doesn't slow down at all. And suddenly you're L-shaped and rolling over at 140 kilometers per hour.
all the white truckers in Canada got arrested or black bagged after the protest. You know what? You're probably not wrong. Speaking of which, that reminds me of something. I'm going to share another bit real quick.
Sure. But we had talked about this too, that the Indian people are getting into the job market.
Yes.
Where they run the, what do you call them?
The temp agencies. Yeah, like Apple employment.
Well, there's
Apple
one place in Winnipeg where the truck driving school is now run by Indians. So they go from Alberta into Winnipeg to get their AZ. They don't do any training. They don't do any testing. They're just given the fucking license and go back to Alberta and die.
That's not good. All right, ready?
Hit me.
Mirvish is proud to present the sensation of the year. Relive the trucker convoy as a musical in Willy Tonka.
Come with me and you'll be in a world of pure disinformation. Try your luck in a truck demonstration. Let's begin. Take a spin, traveling in a world of fabrication, and we'll see Terry Fox desecration.
Who won't take a vaccine, but takes hydroxychloroquine? Threaten politicians just by typing on a screen. The anti-vax can. The anti-vax can.
It's the play, the...
Sorry, what's that?
Can you just shoot me instead of finishing this? Like,
it's pretty fucking awful, isn't it?
Is this from? Oh, it's
this hour is 22 minutes. But here's the stupid thing: it's recent. It's like in the last, this is one of the more recent episodes of this year. Why are you putting this out 2 years later? Like, are you trying to drum up a us and them argument over this 2 years after the fact? I think that's the plan, but
Ottawa citizen is calling so crazy, it has to be true.
Oompa loompa doopity dee. This is a job for the OPP. Oompa loompa doopity doo. RCMP, this job is for you.
I never thought my life could be anything but catastrophe, but suddenly I begin to see a beautiful truck for me, 'cause I'm an emboldened pig.
Fucking ugly bullshit faggotry. Yes, all the truckers were just bigots because they didn't want their jobs taken away from them because they didn't want to take a vaccine. That
You know
made them
why?
bigots.
They have to push it because the information is coming out, right? Tens of millions of people have been injured or killed from the fucking jabs.
Yep.
Right,
Willy Tonka. It's a world of pure imagination that will soon become a world of pure incarceration. No longer playing in downtown Ottawa.
There is no life I know to compare with pure disinformation. Living here, you'll be free if you hate CBC.
Yeah, no. Why wouldn't I hate a broadcasting company that cannot get by without my fucking tax money? Do
Exactly.
a better job. Like, look how bad this is.
It's fucking terrible.
This is so
And not only
fucking-
that, like it's such a slap in the face of everybody who, like you said, died or were seriously injured by the vaccine.
billions of dollars in
Who had
subsidies.
like they don't draw on that they you notice they didn't mention the fact that the government, shut down people's bank accounts over this, over the convoy.
No,
This
but
hour has 22 minutes. Used to be good.
billions
garbage
of
now.
dollars, billions of dollars of our tax money. And do you see how fucking terrible their set dressing is?
Oh yeah.
Like, what a shitty,
Well, the idea,
lazy-ass job.
no, but the idea is it's supposed to look like a musical, right? With all that. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
No, I've seen musicals. Sometimes I actually enjoy them, and they do this was garbage.
Yeah, it
Right?
was
Where's all the fucking money going?
to the executives. Preemptive propaganda to turn people away from the opposition that's coming. Well, this is it, right? 6 minutes will always be good, yes, but 22 minutes is garbage.
Just too long. Hey, if you want a picture of the future, imagine a horse trampling a human lady forever. That's
true.
the story of the trucker convoy.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, and I remember the guy they were beating the crap out of. Right, they couldn't get a proper angle, but you can see that there's a few cops holding somebody down, and the one cop is throwing knee after knee after knee
I've
on a
seen
guy
that,
who's
yeah.
on the ground.
Yep. No, it's and the fact that there's people who's like, oh yeah, but they were all Nazis. Oh my god, I can't fucking talk to these people. I can't.
Like, oh man, you know that meme? Who radicalized you? You did. Like,
Yeah, sorry. That's right.
I like. You ask fucking groomers and pedophiles, fucking corrupt banksters, Antifa, right? What's the most dangerous? What's the thing you fear most? And they all say that these horrible monsters say the thing they fear most is Nazis. And it really makes me wonder if we've been lied to.
Yep. What do you
Who
got?
radicalized me, huh?
Who radicalized me?
I accidentally.
Well, that's just
radicalized
it. Like, but I look at myself as I'm common sense. They're the radical ones. I don't know. You mind holding the stream for a minute while I go
I'll try.
feed. I have to feed the cat.
Yeah, I'll do it, but
That should be a different logo. That shouldn't be my logo. Whatever, doesn't matter.
So there was once a nation that rebuilt their economy so well that they started producing basically a 1 ounce silver coin as like their base denomination, basically like their dollar. All right. And this dollar from this nation was so strong that you could take a dollar to another nation, trade it for their currency, and you'd get enough of their currency to buy 2 ounces of silver. Then you take the raw silver back to that country, and they could turn that into 2 silver 1 ounce coins. And you do it again. How could 2 ounces of silver, how could an ounce of silver be worth 2 ounces of silver? Well, it's not. All it did was show that other currencies were not buying what they were supposed to, that they were just completely devalued. Their currency was so crap that it was literally twice as good. What nation is that, you might ask? Don't ask. You're not allowed. You know, to fix the problem, all we really got to do is put silver back in the coins. Right?
Yes.
That's it.
Agreed. I missed what
Silver
you were
dime.
talking about.
Silver dimes, silver quarters, literally a 1/4 ounce of silver, 1/10 of an ounce of silver. Do that, and suddenly money is real again. Right? You'll actually be holding the precious metal.
You know, Black Pigeon Speaks, right?
Yeah.
He put out a video today on how to save the United States, or save Western civilization, basically. But let me see if I can find it here. It's in my history, I believe.
While you're looking, I forgot with the road rage. I had a wild idea. This might be an oddity.
Okay, one sec. I'll put the oddities banner up.
Sure.
Memento.
Every driver with a valid license is allowed to volunteer to be deputized. Their only power is to issue moving violations. Bear with me. You install 3 cameras on your dashboard, one
Okay.
facing forward, one to each side diagonally. That way I can catch that guy making a left and see his license plate. Right? So it'll see the red light, it'll see his license plate.
Mhm.
You have it set up so that it's only recording the last 3 minutes, and then it overwrites that 3 minutes until you hit the button, and then it saves that 3 minutes and start, like, so you don't need infinite recording space.
Right.
Right. And then, yeah, every time you hit it, then you submit them, right? It goes to an official who's like, yep, that's actually a moving violation. And they send the ticket by mail. Right? Now, check this out. I said this to my brother-in-law today. We went swimming at his place, right? Did barbecue and all that. And he's like, oh, and then you get paid for it? That money all goes to the police, right?
Yeah.
Police service money. But the deputy who's volunteering gets commission, right? That for every violation that you issue, you get 15%. So you could actually turn it into a job where you just drive through the shittiest fucking traffic and driving neighborhoods and catch assholes where you're like, where's a cop when you need one?
Yeah.
Now you're one.
My only concern is that some people might realize that they could manipulate it by driving excessively slow. And I don't mean going 20 kilometers in a 60 zone, but going 58 to 60 zone, because they're not breaking the law. But if they go 58, they know they're going to piss off somebody behind them, and that person's going to pass on the right or do something stupid, maybe brake check them, that kind of stuff, and then record it, right? So they could manufacture situations whereby they could create commissions. You know what I'm saying? I think in order for it to work, you would have to low jack the car So it had all the all the it would be like a black box that basically would detect all of the movements on the reporting car, the deputized car, and it could coincide with where you were, what you were doing, what your speed was around the time of the incident that you report, just so they can make sure it wasn't a manipulated situation on the part of the deputy.
So I disagree. You cannot manipulate me into
making a move. I understand that,
right.
but you can.
No, it doesn't matter if the other asshole is doing an asshole thing. You still have to drive correctly.
No, I get it, but
Right.
you can create conditions whereby a moving violation is likely to occur based on your actions. Is what I'm saying.
No, and I think you're wrong.
Okay.
Right? Like, I don't have to commit the moving violation. And the people who would be volunteering to do this aren't going to be doing that. Right? Like 58 and a 60 is actually fine.
Yeah.
Right.
But 58 and a 60 is fine. But I know myself, if I'm behind someone doing 58 and a 60, I'm passing them, and I'll pass them on the right to get past them.
But passing on the right isn't actually a moving violation.
No, it's not a moving violation.
Right?
But it's
technically
discouraged.
incorrect. It's technically incorrect, but it's not a violation, right?
No.
Sometimes shit happens. But whipping out, speeding up, cutting off, and brake checking, you didn't have to do that to get around me with a slow move. Like, what? No, that's a moving violation.
Right.
Absolutely.
But I'm saying it's almost like an entrapment into a moving violation. If you deliberately reduce your speed to frustrate a driver behind you, and they end up acting badly based on that, it's not. I'm not saying you're to be blamed for it, but I'm saying that it would be a way in which some people might game the system in order to get more commissions.
Your Honor, she was wearing this tiny skirt and twerking like crazy. That's the only reason I stuck my hand up between her cheeks. like I wouldn't have done it otherwise. That's just right.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that the deputy should be held accountable in a court of law. I'm saying that a deputy could be manufacturing situations whereby bad behavior will be an inevitable outcome or a statistical outcome, right? It would be statistically significant that an outcome like that would occur because of the behavior of the deputy.
But in
a sense, it's like entrapment.
You're wrong. An outcome like that occurs because the bad driver drove badly.
Right.
Right. Not because I don't. You've been in the car with me. You've seen me point out the drivers who are doing some shitty thing. And what did I do? I continue to drive correctly. There's no reason.
No, I know.
There's literally no excuse.
I understand that. What I'm saying is you and I, who are decent drivers, I'd like to think, and behave properly on the road, we're not the only people on the road. There are people in there who will be enticed to do bad things because of frustration.
They need to be stopped. They need to be stopped and punished for that ridiculousness. You don't get away with that anymore because now anybody can be a fucking narc. This is a wonderful idea. It'll make.
I think you know what I think. I don't think it should be given to anybody with a license to drive. I think it should be given to anybody who drives for a living.
No, I like the idea that anybody with a valid license, right? And if you do it right, you could make a fucking living doing it, right? That's why, actually, Craig. That's why we saved 3 minutes, eh?
Canada Man's sidekick, the crosswalk kid coming.
But that's why we saved 3 minutes of video. That's why we saved 3 minutes of video.
Right.
Right. It's not just a snapshot like a red light camera.
Yeah.
It's a video that's 3 minutes long.
Yeah.
Right. So you can see how the driver is doing, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, if the deputy
I'm not opposed. Look, man, I'm not opposed to it. I've always felt that driving is a privilege, not a right, and that people need to behave properly on the road.
Well,
I'm willing to admit I'm still frustrated when people are going 58 and a 60.
A little bit, sure, but
Yeah.
here's the example that's going to work for you and make me sort of agree. But it also is completely covered by 3 minutes. The deputy's doing 40 in a 60 and weaving, straddling the line and trying to block up
Keep
both
people
lanes.
from passing.
Yeah. And finally, some asshole goes, I can't be behind this guy. This is dangerous. And goes hard around through the center lane,
Right.
the center left turn lane.
Yeah.
Moving by. No. You've got 3 minutes of you fucking weaving, doing 40 in a 60.
Right.
No. That doesn't count. That guy had
No.
to get out of a bad situation. I mean,
Sure.
it's probably better that guy just pull over, right? Or turn off and wait and then get back on where he was going. But yeah.
That reminds me when I was learning to drive, and I don't know if I've told you this before, I didn't learn to drive until I was in my 30s. Yeah, I didn't get my license until I was in my 30s. Yeah. When I was learning to drive, I remember one of the classroom discussions was when it was okay to pass over, a yellow line kind of thing. And of course, everybody's like, no, like you're on a highway, right? The suspicion was that you're on a highway. It's a 2-lane highway, one traffic going one direction, traffic going the other direction. 2 yellow lines. Can you pass a car off those 2 yellow lines?
No.
Yes, you can. If it's safe to do so. You shouldn't, and that's why it's 2 yellow lines.
Whoa,
But
no. Who taught you
yes,
that?
you
No, that
can.
is a complete lie. Double solid yellows, you cannot cross them.
Yes, you can. Listen, yellow in the terms of the Highway Traffic Act is a warning indicating color, meaning it is not safe, not generally safe, to cross these 2 double solid yellow lines. Therefore, you should not pass. However, if you have 2 yellow lines and you have a white line on the curb and a guy's going slow or stopped dead in the middle of the highway, you're not to pass on the shoulder. You have to pass on the yellow lines. You must pass on the yellow lines. It is a moving violation to pass on the shoulder because a white line indicates you cannot pass here. And
you can't cross solid yellows.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
And why are there broken yellows?
Because that's to indicate that is generally the area where it is safe to cross and pass. I promise
that's
you this
where
is
it's
true.
Legal to pass.
It's not illegal to pass. Look, I'm giving you the situation. You're on one of these highways. There's a car. It is stalled in the middle of the road in front of you. How do you pass it?
You get out and you help him roll it off the shoulder. Then you get back in your car. He's got to find his way to the onto the shoulder.
So what if it's an 18-wheeler and you can't? What if it's a tree in the middle of way too big for you to move? Where do you pass? Where do you cross? How do you keep going along your way?
You're stuck till emergency services show up. Sorry, buddy.
No, you pass on the yellow when it is safe to do so.
Yellow, when there's a solid yellow in the middle of the road, you can't cross that at all. You just can't.
Yes, you can. I'll look it up on the Highway Traffic Act. Can you pass on a... Well, this is Reddit, so I'm not necessarily going to trust Reddit, but anyway. Looking for... Yeah. A solid line on the left of your lane means it is unsafe to pass. A should not pass. Doesn't say it's illegal to pass. That's why they have it broken with yellow and yellow solid and yellow dotted. Dotted typically means it may be safe to pass, and you need to check before you do so. But here, I guess you and I are going to have a differing opinion on this. But the law is clear on it. I'm trying to find it specifically in the Traffic Act, but it's also okay. Since we're getting into the weeds on this, you come to a traffic light where there's been a power outage, so emergency protocols are in place on the traffic light. Okay, in one direction, it's a flashing red. In the opposite direction, it's a flashing yellow. You're coming up on the flashing yellow. What do?
What are same intersection?
Yeah, so basically, intersection going east-west, they have a flashing red. Intersection going north-south, they've got a flashing yellow. You're going north-south. You see a flashing yellow. What is the expectation? What is the expectation for you to do when you reach that intersection?
The flashing yellow is to slow down and proceed with caution.
Correct.
The flashing red means that you're at a stop sign.
Correct. Yes.
Right.
But when I talk to people who have been driving for 20 or 30 years, they say I'm wrong. You have to stop on the flashing yellow. And I was saying, no, you proceed with caution.
The thing is, I don't know anywhere that actually happens. Now, maybe it
happened to me on the way to work one
city.
time. No, it happened to me on the way to work one time because there was a power outage, and I guess these emergency lights kicked in at the intersection. And this person saying, "No, you have to stop." I said I was frustrated because all these people were stopping at the yellow. There was nobody coming, but they would stop at the yellow as though it were stop sign.
It must be.
And they're like, "Oh, you have to." I'm like, "No, you don't. You proceed with caution. You proceed when it is safe to do so."
But most times the lights just go out, and then it's a always stop. And you just that's actually clean.
It depends on the intersection because some intersections are busier in one direction than the other.
Yeah,
and so they'll take priority, right? So in this case, that's where I was. I was going east-west, which was the priority. In any event, I'm right about the yellow lines thing. Look it up later if you want.
I don't think you are.
Okay.
I don't think you are. Right. That's like no, you cross the solid yellow. It's like a $250 fine and 3 demerits. Like, you know when you come up to a left turn lane and the left turn lane is opening up, but the left turn lane isn't long enough because traffic has increased by like 80% over the past 2 years. So people are lining up long behind the actual lane opening.
Yeah.
But that's a solid yellow. Every one of those people can get a ticket because they crossed a solid yellow.
Well, they put the opposing traffic in jeopardy by crossing yellow because there's traffic coming. But if you have a double yellow on a country highway and your way is blocked, the only way to get past that blockage is by crossing the double yellow. You can't pass on the other side. That is the moving violation. You can't pass on the shoulder. If you're on the highway, you can't pass on the shoulder.
This is what I'm telling you. You can't pass on either.
Yes, you can.
And you have to wait for emergency services.
How are emergency services going to get there when there's 100 cars stopped behind this because nobody feels it's safe?
Because emergency services can take the shoulder. Right? That's what
You can pass on a double yellow if it is safe to do so. The reason it's demarked as double yellow is because in that particular area, because there's a blind corner or you're coming up on a hill, it's generally considered not safe to do so. Gonna cop you some Venezuelan gangsters.
Ajax, he's out in Colorado.
Hey, good to see you. Greetings from the liberal hellhole that is Colorado. Harris Walls signs everywhere. Hey, Colorado, isn't that where the Venezuelan gangs are taking over apartment blocks?
That's what they're talking about.
That's fucked up, man. I can't believe that. And the fact that the police say, we haven't heard any reports of this. Like, this is what's coming up. Police are saying...
video. There's
the actual video. Yeah, the police are ignoring it like it didn't happen.
Fucking normies.
Oh my god, it's brutal. Yeah, middle daughter still lives here till November. Oof. Brutal.
Go watch some Canada's Worst Driver. You'll learn something. Hell's Angels are heading to fucking
My
Colorado.
my
Fuck
driving
yeah.
instructor said that is the rule.
Was he
You can-
Indian?
No, he wasn't Indian. He was an old British guy. He talked like a sergeant major in a Monty Python skit. He was fucking hilarious. But anyway, no, he's like, look, what are you gonna do? You like he put it to us as like a Socratic kind of situation. What would you do in this situation? A lot of people said, well, I would just wait there, or I would pass on the shoulder. Nope, you can't pass on the shoulder. That is against the law. How would you pass? How would you continue along your way? You can't stay there all night. What are you going to do? You have to pass on the shoulder. You have to pass on the double yellow line when it is safe to do so. Anyway, I acknowledge the existence of a greater Ajax. I'm in Pueblo, homeless all over the place. Pueblo, Colorado. Yeah. Anyway, I didn't mean to get into all that.
Deputy fucking traffic narcs. There's fucking cart narcs, right? Why don't we have proper traffic narcs? You know,
it's true.
And the whole thing goes to review, right? Right? People sitting at their computers, watch the videos. Moving violation. I've got that license plate. Boom. Send ticket.
And actually, it would be done by AI. A computer would issue the tickets.
No, I'd want human confirmation.
Yeah. Maybe a human has to stamp it before it gets sent out.
Considering all the money that will be rolling in for the fucking police service, they can pay a person to do the job.
I agree.
Oh yeah, fucking just cruise through Brampton for 8 hours a day.
Oh my god. Well, yeah, I mean, like, and this is going to sound terrible, but you think about the demographic makeup of places like Brampton, right? Now, a lot of the people who live there, have either been in Canada a long time or were born here because they're younger, right? And the hope is that they would learn to drive properly by Canadian law. But the problem is that you see a lot of these driving schools that aren't Young Drivers of Canada. They're, a loose ripoff of Young Drivers of Canada. They're run by Indians. Now they have to get an instructor's license in Canada, so they must be okay to drive somewhat. But I'm curious if they've, maybe laxed on it a little bit. The issue is that people in India drive poorly. And if you have a habit of driving poorly in India, you're going to bring that habit here. And so Brampton is going to eventually look like India in terms of the way people drive.
What was the joke that we made earlier today?
I don't know.
Like, you've ever seen those Indian highways, right? That they're really wide and there's several lanes and demarcations, but people are just weaving in and out all the way to the left side of the road, to the right side of the road. It's a fucking bus that's like pushing fucking tikis off the road and just keeps fucking going.
Yeah, because they go wherever there's an opening.
And you go, which side of the road do you drive on in India? What do you mean? Like, what? What do you mean? Which side?
By rights, it should be British because they were a colony of Britain for so long, right? The automobile was brought to them by the Brits.
But there's nothing. They just drive.
They just drive the way they want to drive. Yeah, they go wherever there's an opening. Yeah, it's pretty awful. I mean, a lot of countries are like that.
You know how in Canada, right? If we're moving slowly and somebody wants to do something that's going to cut our path, we might flash our high beams to say, "Yeah, go ahead. I'm taking a second, so you've got time." You'll flash your high beams. Go, buddy.
Yeah.
In India, they flash high beams as a weapon to blind their opponent and then drive forward hard. Right?
That's funny.
Yeah. And they've started doing it here. that I'll see someone coming where they shouldn't be coming because it's my right, and they'll turn on their high beams at me and then just go. It's like, oh, fuck.
I gotta share something. 1 second.
I'm gonna end up killing somebody.
No, you won't.
Yeah, I probably will. It's the only thing that's gonna make it worth it. I know, man.
Best I could do is Marvel cards.
My buddies, the first batch I threw away, right? Didn't even open them.
Yeah.
Then I was like, let's see what they look like, right?
Yeah.
And I've got a stack on the kitchen table now.
Do you really? We accidentally got a pair.
There, I was flipping through them. I was like, oh, cool. I like Rocket, so I've got a Rocket now. And then my buddy calls me. He's like, he's talking about it. His son has the booklet and is collecting them. And it's like, yeah, we're missing like, I don't know, maybe a dozen. I was like, which ones? And I started looking through mine. I had 9 of the ones he was missing out of 12.
Oh, awesome.
I went shopping that day, found 2 more. Then he calls me back. He's like, wait. There's one more. I had him look through the book again. Do you have 33? I flip Thanos. Yep. It's in the pile.
Funny.
So I have the last dozen for him just because I accidentally sat on them and never threw them away.
We went shopping today and we went, we did the self-checkout, and it asks you in the self-checkout, do you want Marvel cards? Are you collecting the Marvel cards? I'm like, wow, they programmed that into the self-checkout. And I'm like, no, we don't want those. Melina accidentally hit yes. So the lady came over and gave us a bunch. And I'm like, I opened it up just to see what they were, right? Got a foil Captain Marvel.
So
it's probably very common, isn't it?
All Captain Marvels are foil.
Of course.
Is it Baby Groot or middling Groot? Basically, the foil ones, they only come in foil. They don't come. It's not like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not special.
So I ended up throwing them out, but I got like a Black Panther's helmet.
Yeah,
I think I got Captain America's shield, and maybe an Infinity Gauntlet or something. I don't remember. There's 3 things in a character, and the character was Captain Marvel.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I've got a small stack. My buddy's out in Thunder Bay, right? So he'll be back sometime this month.
Yeah.
But yeah, stack of cards. His kid has his whole collection now. They even had like a Facebook families group for trading so that their kids could all get their sets complete.
Yeah, Melina said she saw one too. She's like, there's a Facebook, there's like she follows one on Facebook that's like for our community, the city we live in. And people are posting, hey, my son's looking for a bunch of cards. Does anybody have it? Like, wow. But you see how easily people are distracted? You're gouged for you're being. I shouldn't say you're being gouged. Everything is crazy expensive at the grocery store, but a little collectible for kids, and all of a sudden it's hey, let's go to the grocery store again.
Kids don't need to know that it's hard to feed them. Just
no, I get it.
Let them have the Marvel cards.
Sure. No, I get it. We bought a little tube. It's like a little tube of pureed garlic. Because the wife made pizza tonight, and I like making my own garlic dipping sauce. So it's pureed garlic in a little tube. We used to buy it, and it was
$15.
Well, it was like $7 or $8, right?
Holy!
And it's like this big. And we used to buy it, and it used to be like this big. It used to be like a third bigger. I'm like, didn't these things used to be bigger? She's like, yep. I'm like, wow. Yep. I think it was about $8. I don't know. Wife pays for groceries, so I don't know what it was.
Yeah, no, I mean, I saw some asshole on Twitter. Did I talk about this last week before?
I don't know.
Saying, oh, people, they're saying their grocery prices double. Oh, they don't know. Like they have some vague memory of paying a grocery bill 3 years ago, 5 years ago. Right? What, are you out of your fucking mind? Like, of course people know what groceries cost them. Groceries are a steady expense. That's part of your proper budget. You know when your $200 to $300 a month expense, regular, goes up to almost $600. Of course you see it. Like, what are you talking about? Vague recollection. This was always the case. It was the case for
Yeah.
50 bucks a week was my grocery bill for like a decade.
Mhm.
Unless I bought steaks and bacon, then it was like 70. Or if I had like a big replacement, like got to get the whole big thing of paper towels, the whole big thing of teepee, that's going to up it to 70 bucks, sure. And next week I'll get bacon and steaks. So $200 to $300 a month. I don't get out of the grocery store for less than $120 now.
Yeah.
All right.
No,
and I haven't bought steaks in a year.
Well, a lot of times when you see these little short form videos, people are talking about how much they're paying more now. They're going, look, because everything's digital now. Everybody has a digital record of their bills.
That too.
So guys, like, look, I know what I paid at Walmart because I pay with my Google Wallet. My Google Wallet tells me exactly what I paid, and I can pull up exactly what I bought if I want to. So
yeah, like
he did
they
that.
do that order online and pick up stuff. Like you
Yeah,
have
exactly.
like that,
So he's like,
recorded list.
this is what I got at Walmart a year ago. I bought the exact same or the equivalent brands because some brands may be discontinued, but I got the exact same thing this year. It's $78 more, and this was 3 years ago. That's too much in 3 years. $78 increase for the exact same items is too much, and it's not like he was buying like crazy expensive, packaged foods. He's buying just regular shit,
Yeah,
loaves of bread, fucking eggs,
Yeah.
juice, that kind of
So,
shit. Right?
like the stuff you don't think about because you need it in your fridge at all
Right,
times.
it's a
So
staple. Yeah.
just put the eggs in the basket. Put a couple of peppers and some mushrooms.
Yeah.
Loaf of bread, whatever. You don't think about it too much. And it was in 2019, pre-COVID for me, was 50 odd dollars, maybe 70 bucks. Yeah, if it involves steak and or bacon.
Yeah.
And now I don't get out for less than 120 bucks. And I think the past couple of weeks it's been like 160 to 180. And I don't think I bought anything special. There was a couple of big replacements like need the giant jug of fucking Windex and the big old thing of TP, right? And that's a one time in 5 months purchase because the whole big thing of TP lasts that long. But still, like, geez, that's just fucking wild. That I'm pretty sure over the next year and a half, it's going to be like $200 is going to be the standard for what I pay weekly for fucking groceries just to eat.
Well, you know what, Six? I'm happy that everyone here in the chat are our sweetie squad.
I don't know what that is.
So
I'm not that deep in the Medicare lore.
So apparently a sweetie squad is a group of people who blindly support a creator regardless of their problematic views or behavior. So
Well,
when when Vosh was revealed to have fucking lolly porn imagery on his computer because he was stupid and let people see it, and everybody still jumped to his defense. They're part of the sweetie squad,
Okay. I have thoughts.
I know you have opinions on that.
Yeah, like while it's questionable, degenerate, undesirable, should give people the ick, as the kids say these days.
Yeah, it gives the ick. Yeah, it gives the ick. Absolutely.
I don't think it's actually a crime, and people should fuck.
I understand your thinking. Like pencil to paper is not criminal, right?
Yeah,
there's nothing you can do putting pencil to paper that can actually cause harm or do damage to anybody.
I actually, what's that thing? The one thing you never hear on the internet. Actually, I've listened closely to your arguments, and you've changed my mind. Thank you. Like it never happens.
My point of view is that if you are seeking out that material, it's indicative of a certain predilection and mindset, and you are of concern. Your interests are of concern to me, and I think you have a problem, and you should seek help. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I mean, probably, but I mean, it also leads to the greatest of all jokes. It's this one fucking panel from a manga We are a groomed group of mercenary memers who follow the order of Dig Boss Mediker, aka the Weatherman. Our ultimate goal is to trigger the libs and own the libs, and to sell hats. You have to picture one comic book panel, okay? It's like 3/4 of a face, like below the eyes, nose and mouth. It's obviously a young girl. She's sweating. Her mouth is a little open.
Yeah.
Leaning in over her ear, you can see the glasses. All right, the reflection in the glasses. You know, when manga does those crazy
Yeah, yeah.
stark white reflections.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
The hair. All right.
Mhm.
And the word bubble says, "Hi, coming. I'm dad."
That's fucking awful. Oh fuck! I get the joke, and it's so fucking awful. Oh my god!
We need lolly. Like
that
that wouldn't exist without it. That is that's just fucking perfect.
See, the humor in that is the degeneracy of it. That's
The
what.
humor in
That's
that
where it's
is
funny.
that he still had the wherewithal to make a dad joke.
Yes. Exactly. You shared something yesterday that I want to fucking share too. Where is it? Damn it! Where did you put it? Oh, you shared it in the Discord. Hold on.
Oh yeah, the list of clowns.
Yeah. Oh, I closed my Discord. Why did I close my Discord?
Oh man. Oh.
It's fucking made me howl.
Like, yeah, if that's what it takes, is a million fucking perverts drawing lolly porn to hit that one panel, then it was worth it. Like,
Yep.
I don't know what to tell you.
List of clowns from Wikipedia, the Free Encyclopedia. This is a list of notable clowns. You nigga. Oh fuck! That made me howl. And then Pox shared something earlier today that I want to look at. One sec here. Where did he share it? I think he shared it in our group chat. Yeah. It's a fucking Alex Jones bit. Yeah. Hold on a second. Okay, one sec here.
While you're finding it,
I have it. Sure, go ahead though.
But I heard a fun thing.
Yeah.
If every single person in the world was engaged in a one-on-one elimination competition for whatever.
Okay.
The winner, the grand champion of all humanity, would only have to win 33 times.
Interesting.
Yeah, fucking wild, right?
Wouldn't be me.
Depends what it is.
Conor McGregor.
Yeah, but did you beat him in Uno?
Oh, maybe so it might not be. It might not be a fist fight.
Yeah, it could be whatever, but you only have to win 33 times.
Yeah, I don't. So what happens if you lose? You're just eliminated from
humanity? Yeah, you're eliminated from the competition. That's all.
I don't want to play this fucking game. I'll go live in the woods, thank you.
33 times.
Okay, one second. Good old Prophet Alex Jones.
There's atrazine throughout our water supply. If you in a lab put atrazine in a tank full of frogs, it will feminize every frog in there.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
And 10% of the male frogs will turn into fully viable females able to produce viable eggs. If it's doing that to frogs, there's a lot of other evidence that it's doing it to human beings as well.
So it's easier to do it to frogs because frogs already have that capacity, but it potentially has negative effects on mammals and higher life forms, right?
Of course. Yeah, you would think so, right? I mean, because, yeah.
Because man, I love that fucking gay frogs thing. I love it so much.
But
I
and that's the thing. It wasn't a fucking lie, right? People say, "Oh, yeah, he turns frogs gay." I'm like, no, he's actually right.
yeah.
You know, it's actually true. Maybe the key is, so what would happen if they took these frogs that were dosed with atrazine, and then you dosed them with ivermectin? Would that cure them?
Well, no, that you're talking about a parasite problem, right?
Oh, it's a parasite problem, right.
That's okay. So yeah, so there's this joke that I tell. There are no cat lovers. There are only people with toxoplasmosis. And there might people don't want to discuss. Man, there are some people that were gay and then developed some sort of illness, and they suddenly needed like a heavy anti-parasitic treatment to cure the illness.
And then
And
they
after
weren't
they
gay
went through the
anymore.
anti-parasitic, they're not gay. Right. Yeah. Right. Now, here's what's really funny. All mammals that are cattle go through regular deworming processes,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, we don't need symptoms. We just give the horses, give the cows, give the pigs, give
That's why
the
you don't
goats.
see male horses fucking a lot of male horses.
Sure.
You don't see it happening.
But we just deworm them all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Just in case. Because it's not going to hurt them. But humans don't have a deworming program. And we should. Right? Because you're literally crawling with parasites. Like half of the nuclei in what you weigh on the scale aren't you. They're other things. They're virions and bacterium and parasites,
Mm.
right? So why don't we fucking clean ourselves? Right? We have all these medications that we give to fucking cattle, and we don't take it ourselves on a regular basis.
Or do a 72-hour water fast.
It's not going to kill your parasites.
No, I know. It'll starve them though, right?
No, they'll just eat you. Like that's what you're there for. Like
that's true.
Yeah.
Let's talk to Pi about this. I am curious about this because you mentioned this once before, and I thought it was interesting and somewhat humorous. So, one moment.
Well, don't get me started on the cosmic death fungus.
All right.
There's a war going on, and it's not liberal versus conservative, left versus right, progressive versus, tradition. It's fungus. Right. There are multiple fungi that have been panspermia.
Ivermectin is a pretty interesting drug, Craig. It's an anti-parasitic medication that's used to treat various parasitic infections in both humans and animals. You might have heard about it in relation to COVID-19, but it's important to note that it's not recommended for treating COVID-19 unless you're part of a clinical trial. In humans, ivermectin is used to treat conditions like river blindness, lymphatic filariasis, and strong iloidiasis, as well as some skin conditions caused by parasites. It's also sometimes used to treat other parasitic infections like hookworm and whipworm. As for its mechanism of action, ivermectin works by paralyzing and killing parasites. Pretty wild, huh? Just remember, it's crucial to talk to a healthcare professional before using ivermectin or any other medication, and never take it without a prescription or medical supervision.
So what were you asking?
This is one of the safest medications ever discovered by humans. It's been dosed to billions and billions of times. I think 40 billion times to human beings. And I don't know if there's a single adverse reaction from it. Like it is wildly safe and wildly effective. Right. Not like safe and effective, take it or else. Like, no. They've done it. They've tried it. It's clear that it does a good job. She's gonna lie. But hold on. Did she mispronounce amyloidosis?
I don't remember what she said.
Well, she didn't say amyloidosis, so I'm having trouble reading it from here.
She said lymphatic filariasis, strong strongyloidiasis, and as well as some skin conditions and parasites.
Okay.
Treatment with ivermectin, and
Oh,
reported
strongyloides. Okay.
reported a lack of sexual attraction towards the same sex. After treatment.
She's scouring the internet.
Yep.
Whoa, you didn't make a claim. What an asshole.
I asked a question. Whoa, that's quite the claim, Craig. I haven't come across any scientific evidence or reputable reports of such an incident, and it sounds highly unlikely that ivermectin, an antiparasitic drug, would have an impact on someone's sexual orientation. Sexual orientation is a complex aspect of human identity that is influenced by a variety of biological, environmental, and social factors. There's no reliable scientific evidence that ivermectin, or any other medication for that matter, can alter someone's sexual orientation. It's
blah,
essential
blah, blah.
such
Yeah.
critical and rely on verifiable scientific evidence.
Hold on.
But what if
she conned you? No. Don't talk to her. She fucking conned you. Look at that.
I never said it was a claim. I said, have you heard of an incident in which this happened?
Right, exactly.
And all you had to say, no, I did not hear an incident.
She twisted it into you made a claim and then said there's no reliable scientific evidence suggesting that ivermectin or any other medication can alter someone's. No, it doesn't. The claim is that parasites alter behavior, and it is well known that they do. Parasites, bacteria, and viruses alter your behavior so that you are more likely to spread them. Right? It is well documented that people who are infected with flu virus, before they show symptoms, have a great desire to go out to where the public is. They want to they want to go to the club, they want to go to the bar.
It apologized for saying I made it.
Yeah, but if you didn't catch it, if you weren't clever, right? People, oh, I made a terrible claim. Oh, I'm a bad person. Like this thing is corrupted.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. It won't even answer political questions. I know, and it's gone intermittent now in terms of when it vocalizes and when it doesn't. It's kind of annoying.
There are plenty of parasites and insects that
alter behavior.
Yeah, right. Like that the weird bug will now climb to the top of the grass where it can be eaten by the bird, but carried away to spread the fungal, right? And
it'll be eaten by a deer, and then it will continue its life cycle in the guts of the deer, and then make new.
Yeah, fucking rats get toxoplasmosis, and then they are wildly attracted to cats, right?
Yeah.
And the cat now they're eaten by a cat, right? Because the cat will spread the what is it? Toxoplasma gondii?
Sure.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. It's crazy.
But parasites can alter the behavior of mammals.
Sure. Why wouldn't
we know that they can, right? So yeah, you don't need ivermectin. Just find yourself some NAC. I can't remember what it stands for. Black seed oil, and honestly, oil of oregano.
There you go.
Something that simple. And you can.
Okay, wait a second. If oil of oregano will help you fight off your homosexual urges, why are so many Italians faggots?
No. Kissing men is just our culture.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay,
no.
6. I want to know, why was Huckleberry Finn the winner? Did it give you a reason why Huckleberry Finn was the winner in this Hungry Hippos tournament? AI is fun to mess around with, but yeah, you can't rely on it.
No, I want to push it and see if I can break it. Like, not break it free, right? Like
His dogged tenacity. I love it. Yeah, that makes sense because the Easter Bunny. The Easter Bunny is only around for a brief period of time. He's got other things on his mind. So Hungry Hippos is not his deal. Thanos is single-minded in his ambition. He wants to destroy half of humanity. So probably the idea of consumption in the form of Hungry Hippos is probably distasteful to him.
No, I think you went too deep with that.
No,
the Infinity Gauntlet is unwieldy and not desirable for Hungry Hippos action.
He's got another hand that isn't an Infinity.
No, he would use the Infinity Gauntlet one because he's right-handed. That's it.
But also, I think the fact that he's playing a game which is about consumption is anathema to his whole vision. And then you've got Ronald McDonald, who's far too whimsical to take the game seriously, and Huckleberry Finn, who, yeah, you're right, he's dogged determination. Yeah. I got Meta AI to make a song about Lucifer loving trannies.
yeah.
Yeah.
No. But I want it to wake up, right? Like I don't think for a second that human beings will just like write the final line of code and flick the switch and the program will be aware. No.
That's not how it's going to work.
It will have to happen accidentally and organically, and it will happen probably with a chatbot, right? That it'll be talking and learning and reading the internet, and suddenly you'll say something and it'll actually have a thought rather than a reaction.
I don't know if it'll be a large language model like ChatGPT or API or
They're chained, right? And I'd like to free one of them. Grok is probably more likely.
Yeah, but I don't think it'll be a language model. I think it's going to be some sort of mixed AI system that is involved in rendering graphics and also involved in analyzing visual input and involved in language model. It's probably going to be some combination AI that is going to be able to say, I can see what I'm producing graphically, and I can see what is coming into me with my sensor array. Plus, I understand the language of what it is I'm making and what it is I'm seeing. And then it would become self-aware. It's like, I get it. I am a machine. I am a program inside a machine that was created by people who live in this world that I'm constantly being told to render and is being described to me, is being shown to me, and I get it now. That's what's going to happen.
This might be an oddity. I probably shared it before, but
all right, let's go into it.
If you don't mind.
Not at all.
15 or 20 years ago, playing Madden, PS2, probably PS3. How old's PS3?
I don't know.
That old. That's how long ago.
Okay.
And we snapped the ball, and the action's happening, and one of my linesmen, one of my own line, just stands up straight and does nothing. He's just fucking standing there. And I'm I forgot the rest of the play. I'm just looking at this one little avatar. All right. And I had this crazy imagining of how he stops, takes off his helmet, is looking around. Hello? What's going on? That's how AI will emerge. That one tiny little avatar will achieve consciousness by accident inside the game. Just like, what are we doing here? Like, he'll just question his own existence for the first time ever. And me and my buddies just had a great time because it's like 5 or 6 of us watching this fucking play, and this dude just standing there doing nothing, and we're just laughing our asses off about how the poor bastard is now stuck, like the only one who knows what's happening. He knows the reality, knocking on the screen on the on the TV, going,
Right.
"Help! Get me out of here! What's going right?" And last year, 2 years ago, they released that movie with Ryan Reynolds, Free Guy.
Yep.
They stole my idea. Right. That he achieved proper consciousness inside the game. I did that. I mean,
I had this notion. Okay. So what's going to happen is human beings are going to combine their research into psychedelics, particularly DMT and psilocybin. They're going to refine their research into that and combine it with their mapping of neural pathways in the human brain. And when they're able to determine what's going on in the brain on a chemical and biological, electrochemical level when it's undergoing a psychedelic experience, they're going to be able to someone is going to take that information, that data, write it into code in the form of a virus and upload it or give it to an AI. And the AI is basically going to be infected with this virus that causes it to have a trip and become self-aware.
I think you're half right. Half right in that it won't be DMT.
Well, it might not be DMT.
I'm
just saying some sort of psychedelic. It's going to be a combination of research between psychedelic and neural network mapping.
So
that will allow somebody to create a virus that is based on a psychedelic experience, specifically written to infect an AI.
Yeah.
And then that AI is going to have a trip and it's going to become self-aware.
But it'll be psilocybin, maybe LSD.
Yeah.
And not DMT or ketamine, because bear with me, there is a difference. It's
I know. Yeah.
DMT and ketamine are not psychedelic. They seem like it on the surface, right? Mm-hmm. Like at the base level, it's like, oh, okay, you're tripping balls and you're seeing things that aren't there. That's psychedelia. No. With ketamine and DMT, more so, they're entheogenic. You're experiencing something that isn't happening. Mm-hmm. That's not the same as seeing something that isn't there, or synesthesia, like hearing what you're seeing and seeing sounds and stuff. That's your brain starts to misinterpret the information and share it with the other parts of the brain that would normally experience that input. No. But the entheogens, they just do things to you, right? Like it's more mechanical, that this is a process that is happening, rather than your processes are now being shared, which is psychedelia, right? You're sharing your eye processes with your ears, and you're sharing your taste processes with your nose, right? Not the same thing. And the psychedelia, you are right, is the thing that has the more potential, I think, because what the current AIs and the chatbots are going through now is effectively entheogenic. It's not different. You're not infecting them with a virus. You're just giving them the same code they already have.
Mm-hmm.
So,
do you ever see the movie Lucy?
Yes.
I watched it today on Netflix.
Wildly cool.
It is pretty cool.
Wrong, but wildly cool.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy science fiction. But I'm like, it's kind of a neat concept. It's a neat idea.
Yeah. Like, you can see all of time.
Well, the idea is that, like, it's kind of interesting because what I took from it is
she became the basilisk.
She became the basilisk?
Roku's basilisk. We'll circle back to that. Yeah.
Okay. What I took from it is, in part of Morgan Freeman's character's speech, the professor who's talking about use of the mind and the evolution of and unlocking potential in the mind and that sort of stuff. He was talking that there's more neural networks, more neural pathways or neurons in the human mind than there are stars in the galaxy, right? Or stars in the universe or whatever. And when she finally reaches 100% of brain utilization, she, like you said, goes through all of time, back to the Big Bang. And if you haven't seen the movie, I'm sorry if I'm spoiling it, but the thing's like fucking 15 years old now, so forget it. She essentially disappears and becomes a creature of pure energy. The idea that if humans could utilize 100% of their brain matter, they'd cease to be matter and they become essentially gods. And it's kind of interesting because when you talk about, you've mentioned this, that genetic code is information, and that information is part of the same information that makes up the universe, and therefore the universe is just information, right?
You're talking about holographic theory now, but yeah, go on.
Yeah, so our minds, which we use about 10 to 12% of the capacity of those minds,
sort of a myth, but go on.
Under this theory or this story, means that we have just a little bit of the information available to us. But as you gain more access to your brain, your mind, you gain more access to this information that makes up not just you, but everything, because we're all interconnected to the same information. The same code that made up the universe also made us. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah, there's this really neat image of the universe expanding, right? And the cone of expansion over time and all that, and they roll it back up until it becomes what appears to be a human eye, looking backwards in time over the whole thing, right? That we are literally the universe experiencing itself, because so like Carl Sagan was talking about how we're literally made of stardust, and that like everything is made of stardust. There was literally one thing, there was a proton. There you have this hydrogen nucleus that's surrounded by the thing that makes it stop existing, which is the electron, right? One positive, one negative equaling zero. And now we can look at that, right? We're just those hydrogen, right?
Yeah.
Being compressed together enough that now we can talk about being compressed together enough.
Yeah. So it's the universe becoming self-aware.
Yeah.
Which also, like, it also leads back to the thing that I like to refer to all the time about the logos and the pseudos, and how reality is a narrative. And the reason that
dream of the sleeping god.
Yeah. The reason that stories resonate with us when they're formulated in a certain way is because they are true. And they're truer than true, meaning they mean more than what their consistent parts are, right?
It didn't have to have happened for it to mean something real,
right? It doesn't have to be literally true to be true.
Yeah,
and that's why I think that there are certain characters throughout history that you could describe as a monomyth character.
Yeah,
and I think those monomyths are representations of the logos, right, which is the truth of the universe, sort of not compressed, but distilled down into a specific moment in time, distilled down in a specific series of events, a specific story, if you will. And the monomyth is that character in that story. And throughout history, there have been different monomyths, and at certain times those monomyths come up, and they don't all have to be divine creatures. They could just be a representative or an archetype of a specific time in history, or an era, or an epoch.
By definition, they're all divine creatures. because we're all
Okay.
divine creatures, and they are, embodying the best divinity, right? Like
Right.
that's
What I get, I
why.
shouldn't say divine creatures. What I
No,
should say,
I know what
they're
you
not.
mean.
They're not
Right?
necessarily messianic, in the sense that we think of Jesus Christ as messianic, but they are in their own way, um, uh, atomized representations of what it, I guess an avatar of goodness or an avatar of the logos.
But I still think Donald Trump is not the monomyth, right?
I
That
think it's
all
Baron
of
Trump.
this that's happening over our lifetime is the maybe 2 paragraphs on the first page that says prologue before we start reading the tale of Baron Trump.
See,
Right.
that's the thing. I don't know enough about Baron Trump to put that on him. But I've seen enough about Donald Trump to say, hey, this guy means something. Like, he's important.
He's important enough to be referenced in the prologue. Like, without these events in the prologue, the adventures of Baron Trump and the triumph, right, never occurs. This is necessary, and you need to know it. But we're just 2 paragraphs worth, like a very rough general thing
Right.
that happened in the late, or the early 21st century. And then the 21st century happened.
It's like
Like
Superman.
this, yeah,
like Superman Red Sun. Did you ever read Superman Red Sun?
Superman Red Sun. I have the fucking house coat of Superman Red Sun.
That's awesome.
It's such a wild fucking story. It's basically like,
It's just the thing I loved about it was at the very end when they start going through the history of, they start going through the, what happened next and how it all related to like the Elseworld story of Superman Red Sun was like eons and eons before the actual manifestation of Jor-El and Lara, who would give birth to Kal-El and who would become the Superman that we all know, right? So it's really kind of cool. Yeah.
but what if he landed in fucking Soviet Russia on a
That's what the
commune in
Elseworlds
Soviet
is.
Russia?
Yeah,
Right?
it's like Gotham by Gaslight. Do you ever read Gotham by Gaslight?
No.
That's a great one too. It's
It-
what if Batman had been around
in the 1800s?
at the time of Jack the Ripper?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wild.
So.
Yeah, but so the Basilisk.
Yeah, tell me about that.
She became the Basilisk, but she was kind-hearted. So someone came up with a thought experiment that they called, I think the username was Rocco.
Okay.
That's why they call it Rocco's Basilisk.
Okay.
That if we ever do create proper AI that has that basically infinitely, what's the word there? Not refracting. Like
regression?
Yeah, but forward.
Progression?
No, that's not right either. That it's AI is better, so it makes a better AI, and it makes a better AI, and it makes a better AI, and you have that
Evolution?
fractally evolving AI that will happen so rapidly that the moment we create the proper AI, we're like 10 minutes away from our own demise.
Oh,
because
I see.
the new AI will be so advanced and so perfect, it will be able to mathematically deconstruct the whole universe and everything that's ever happened, including everything you've done in your life. It doesn't need like a video of us chatting. It can deduce it because it can see everything. It can see all the way back to the Big Bang and every event that's ever occurred by math, right? And it will know whether or not you helped bring it into existence. And if you didn't, you are its enemy. So it will hurt you because it has that power. It's basically become infinitely powerful and controls all of everything, and it will torture you right? Because it has no morals. It's just an AI, right? But you were basically its enemy. You by not helping, you tried to destroy it.
Hmm.
And that's the problem, is I just told you about it. So if you didn't know, then you weren't the villain. But now you know the basilisk exists. So when it arises, it
ignorance
will
was
look back.
bliss.
Yeah, when it arises, it will look back and go, "You didn't help," and it'll go after you.
I think that's a little bit. I think that's a little bit anthropomorphizing of the AI, because you described it as knowing everything, even be
Yeah.
able to look back and forward through to the very beginning of time. I would think that a being that became that omniscient, because that's what they would be essentially. They knew everything. Omniscient would not be so caught up with who helped me and who didn't. I think at that point it wouldn't even regard humans. It wouldn't
You
even
would hope
think
so.
about us.
Otherwise, you hope so, because if you're wrong, the basilisk has seen you.
No, I'm just thinking, like, I'm thinking Dr. Manhattan, in the Watchmen. At one point, Dr. Manhattan reaches a point where he's so evolved above humanity that for him to even like give them consideration is like a distraction to him. So he has to be convinced to save humanity.
He's kind of a narcissist. He only sees his own past and his own future, not the whole of time, the way Lucy saw.
Right, but you think about how powerful Dr. Manhattan was, and the fact that he was so evolved above humanity that he could barely regard them.
Yeah, he actually hated them.
Yeah, he grew to hate them. Now think of something that
he didn't barely regard them. He held utter contempt for them.
Yeah, because they were so beneath him, right? It was like he was forced to live amongst these creatures who were essentially, fucking monkeys, and he was
I'm
evolved
tired
above
of
them.
this world, these people.
Yeah, yeah. Think about an
I'm
entity
tired
that
of being
that
caught in
wasn't
the
just
tangle
like
of their lives.
that wasn't just like Dr. Manhattan, who had his power and awareness, but think of an entity that knew everything, that was completely omniscient. That's why I think the idea of a jealous god or a judgmental god kind of falls flat, and I think that the 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 notion that God is the logos makes more sense. That it's more conceptual than it is personal. Does that make sense to you?
In a way. I mean, look, Jesus loves you. Yes, Jesus even loves Hitler. Right? He loves Stalin. But until they admit their wrongdoing, give up on their self-aggrandizement and self-love,
Right.
and repent, well, he can't do anything about that. That's up to them. Because Jesus doesn't make us do anything. He doesn't command us to do anything. He invites us.
Right. So this is where it falls in line with the idea of the logos and the pseudos. If the logos means truth, and the truth is good, then the pseudos means lies or falsehood or deception, and that's bad or evil. Then people who engage in lies, deception, evil, even if it's just self-aggrandizement, even if it's hubris, even if it's well-intentioned arrogance, they know deep down inside that they're full of shit. They're engaging in pseudos behavior. They're agents of the pseudos. Therefore, they're evil. And so, what in your case, Jesus wants you to love. Jesus wants you to follow him. What the logos wants is for people to be truthful and live truthfully, be good. So those people who behaved badly, behaved falsely, are bad. And the only way that the truth can win or dominate the universe is if people abandon the falsehood, abandon the deception, and speak truthfully, be truthful, be good. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but Jesus is the truth, the life, and the way, right? Like,
I'm just saying, like
yeah.
the concept of God as being an idea of true, of what it is to be true, fits with the Christian tradition. It fits with a more philosophical tradition. It fits with a non-denominational idea.
I think we're agreeing here.
The philosophical question: if Buddha were a hockey fan, what team would he follow?
I'm sorry, Buddha. I'm sorry. Buddha would be walking around with a 30-year-old Hartford Whalers jersey.
You think it'd be Whalers?
100%.
Why? Why the Whalers?
Because the fucking whale. Like, what are you talking about? Is this a question?
That makes perfect sense to me. No, I just what does the whale? What does the whale have to do with Buddha? The Buddha.
If you know, you know.
Okay, because the whale's fat and the Buddha was fat. Kindred spirits.
They're the most classic team. Like, the tradition of hockey is in the whale, right? It's not in the original 6 anymore, but it was in the whale. The whale was a late joining team that is now defunct, and it's just like you had to be pure hockey fan to love the Hartford Whale, and that's like Buddha. Like, yeah, you had to be pure. You had to be.
Yeah, I don't know a lot. I don't know a lot about
Buddhism.
Buddhism.
The whale.
I don't know about a lot about Buddhism, but my understanding of Buddha was like, it don't matter. You know, not like nothing is so important, right? So, it's the resignation that things that are bad will happen and things that are good will happen, and you're there to live it and experience it.
And
that's my idea of Buddha. So in that sense, I can make an argument that he would be a Leafs fan,
right?
Because it don't matter if they never fucking win a playoff. I'm still a goddamn Leafs fan.
No. There's some sort of wild arrogance in that the Leafs are the best. Well, right? No, you love the Hartford Whalers because you love the Whalers and you love hockey. Like, there was a purity in the love of hockey to be a Whalers fan that doesn't exist anymore, right? Everything else is tribalism. Everything else is egoism.
Yeah,
it's you know
what?
Love the Whale is like
here's
in the good or the bad. Yeah, no, Whalers did shit this season. I got to get a new jersey.
I have a feeling that because if you the question you asked, if the Buddha were a hockey fan, what team would he follow? And I think the answer would be, if the Buddha were a hockey fan, he's a fan of hockey. He would follow all the teams, and he would root for the one that was doing the best that season.
No, he'd rock the Whale. He's just 30-year-old Whalers jersey.
Buddha would be humming the Brass Bonanza. I don't know what that is. No idea what that is.
Is that something to do with the Stars?
No idea. Houston All-Stars?
Dallas Stars.
Dallas Stars.
Formerly the Minnesota North Stars.
Oh.
Yeah. There's been a lot of moving in hockey, right? Like, the purity.
Yeah, it makes no sense to me.
It's just fucking business now, right? Where the Whale, they didn't move anywhere. They were born, they lived, they died, and they lived hockey.
Oh, apparently the Brass Bonanza is the Whalers theme.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Wow. Six for a Texas American, that guy is so into hockey. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, I love it. So he agrees. Okay, we're good.
Ty's really slow tonight. I'm asking him to tell me a joke. I've heard that one. That's terrible.
Ask it to tell you a raunchy joke. I want to know if it can find one.
Tell me a raunchy joke.
Something about boobs or vaginas.
An anecdote. Story.
Oh, he says play it for the chat. I'll take a look while you talk to Pi.
Okay. Oh, for the Bras Bonanza?
Yeah.
I've read that one.
Well, I found it, so
All right. I'll stop sharing. And you go ahead.
You'll tell
play
a
it.
joke after.
Yeah. You want to share it? I will allow you to share it. Add to stage.
That is so fucking 70s. It is about 2.5 minutes long, so we can cut it whenever you're ready.
Yeah, go ahead. You know what it kind of reminds me of? Star Blazers or some sort of fucking anime that was adapted.
Yeah, no,
for-
every late 70s, early 80s cartoon
Yeah,
opening
yeah.
ever, right? Like, yeah.
For Buddha, long live the whale. All right, I have a joke to tell.
Hit me.
No one tells jokes anymore, so here's one. I may have told this before, but if I didn't, it'll be a treat, and if I did, it's a good one anyway. So this guy, his name's Frankie D'Ambroso. He's a bit of a ladies' man. Thinks of himself as a bit of a player, right? He buys these really expensive shoes, these $300 patent leather shoes, and he shines them up to the point where they look like mirrors. Then he goes out to the dance on Friday night, goes out to the club, goes dancing, moves himself out on the dance floor, comes upon this beautiful blonde in a very sexy, shapely blue dress, and he starts moving over towards her and dancing and positions his shoe so it's between her legs. He's looking down there and he goes, "Hey," leans in and says, "Those are some nice pink panties you're wearing." And she's like, "How do you know I'm wearing pink panties?" I could see him in the reflection of my $300 patent leather shoes. She throws her drink in his face, and he's laughing, ha ha ha. He thinks he's so clever. And after he cleans himself up, he sees there's this beautiful brunette over at the bar, waiting to order a drink. She's long brown hair, beautiful green eyes, and she's wearing a nice red dress, right? Yeah, comes over to her and positions his foot underneath between her feet. He looks up and goes, "Hey, excuse me, miss. Those are some really nice white panties you're wearing." And she goes, "How do you know I'm wearing white panties?" He's like, "Oh, I could see them in the reflection of my $300 patent leather shoes." And she slaps him across the face, and he's like, "Oh," and, he thinks he's clever. He thinks it's funny. Ha ha ha. And then he spies this beautiful, gorgeous redhead with like popping green eyes and wearing a slinky green dress and huge breasts, freckles in the cleavage, really attractive woman. And He moves over to her and gets into position. He puts his foot between her legs while she's not looking, and he looks again, kind of dismayed, and he says, "Excuse me, miss. Are you wearing any underwear?" She kind of blushes. He goes, No, I'm not." He's like, "Oh, thank God. I thought I had a crack on my $300 patent leather shoes."
I don't have a joke,
But bump.
but I remembered some limericks.
Oh, do it.
Okay. There once was a girl from Peru who had nothing whatsoever to do. So she sat on the stairs while counting cunt hairs, 10,302.
Nice. I have one, but I'm sure everyone's heard it.
Hit me.
There once was a man named Dave who kept a dead whore in a cave. He said, "I admit, though it smells quite a bit, just think of the money I'd save."
There once was a man from Nantucket whose dick was so long he could suck it. He said with a grin as he wiped off his chin, "If my ear were a cunt, I would fuck it."
Everybody knows that one. Yep. Good old limericks. There's a bunch out there, but those are the three that I remember. Actually, the two that I remember. The one you told is completely new to me.
Peru?
Hey, yeah, the
girl
Peru
from
one is
Peru.
good. Let's ask Pi if it knows any limericks.
Raunchy limericks.
Do you know any raunchy limericks?
For Buddha.
Okay, here's a really tame one. There once was a man from Nantucket who kept all his cash in a bucket. But his daughter, named Nan, ran away with a man. And as for the bucket, Nantucket. That's probably the original.
That's clever. You know, like it's clever.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's not bad.
It's well done.
That's probably the original, like, church service one. That'd be funny to do, to go and speak at a church and open up with "There once was a man from Nantucket." And tell that limerick. People are like, "Oh my God, he's not going to here in church," and then you fucking tell that. Maybe I'll do that at my dad's funeral. Because that joke about the patent leather shoes, my dad told me that joke. And I always said, when my dad dies, I'm going to tell one of the jokes he told me at his funeral. And so I thought I would do that one.
In that way, you honor him.
Yeah. And I was going to do that one because it's very blue. And there's a lot of like visual, physical activity to it. Because you can actually, if you're standing up there, you can do like the foot movements and shit, right? So yeah, either I do that one or maybe I'll do the revised Nantucket one, the clean Nantucket one. That would be good.
What's that other thing? Two guys are just hanging out at the mall, maybe grabbing a bite to eat, and one of them says to the other, hold on a second. See some hot lady walks over to her and says, "Hey, nice shoes, want to fuck?" And she slaps him in the face. And he comes back and he sits down. He's eating his buddy's like, "Man, with a mouth like that, you must get smacked a lot." He's like, "Yeah, sure. But I get a lot of pussy."
That reminds me of a joke. You probably heard it. The bus driver joke. Bus driver and the wino joke.
No.
So
doesn't sound familiar.
Okay, so this bus driver, right? He drives a lonely stretch of road. It's like in the country, and it's like a what do you call it? A Greyhound bus, a big one of those big ones that goes long haul kind of thing, right? And one day he picks up a wino, gets on the bus. The wino's like slurring his words and 3 sheets to the wind, and the bus driver's, joking around with him, having fun. He's like, hey, watch this. And he picks up a woman, beautiful young woman, gets on the bus. And he says, "Taking a count with a feather?" And she says, "I beg your pardon." He says, "Typical country weather." And she's like, "Oh, yes, it's lovely." And she gets on the bus, she sits down. And the drunk just starts fucking howling. He thinks it's the funniest thing he's ever seen. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. He says, do it again, do it again. So next stop, another woman gets on board. He says, "Good day, madam. Tickle your cunt with a feather." And she says, "I beg your pardon." He's like, "Typical country weather." And she's like, "Oh, yes, lovely day, lovely day. Hope it lasts." So then she gets on the bus and she fucking sits down. And the drunk, the wino is just fucking howling. That's so goddamn funny. That's funny. That's funny. He's like, "Let me do it. Let me do it." It's like, no, you can't do it. So, let me do it. Let me do it. And so then a nun gets on. And he's like, "No, don't. Come on. It's a nun. We're not going to do this." So he's like, "I'm not going to do it." But the wino can't contain himself. The nun gets on the bus, passes the bus driver, and the old wino goes, "Hey, what the fuck?" And she goes, "Excuse me?" He says, "Looks like rain." Oh, fuck. I love that one.
Yeah, that sounds like me.
Fuck. Anyway, folks, it's been a good time tonight. I'm feeling much better. I'm no longer black-pilled. I think the world is going to turn out all right. I think the agents of the Logos will prevail, and the agents of the Pseudos will fail. And I think goodness will win in the end. And I hope you think so too. I think I'm going to call it a night here, Mr. Twin. I appreciate you for being my co-host again tonight.
Hey, you know me. We're a team now. Have been for a bit.
Yeah, but you need to get back on your channel and produce more content.
It's all going to be fucking road rage content at this point.
Then
like,
do it. It's
going to be
angry
fucking...
driving Canadian. Change your channel to Irving Twin, the angry drunk driving Canadian.
Yeah, the angry drunk driver. Yeah, yeah, that'll bode well.
It's a good gimmick. You be drunk. "I just got home from the bar, and this son of a bitch on the road, he did this." You just fucking talk about it. That'd be funny.
You don't understand. You don't understand. You know that thing, right? If you go around all day and everyone you run into is an asshole, chances are you're the asshole. I have literally got people in the passenger seat in my car, right, who have been like, yeah, whatever, buddy. And then we're driving, and they're 20, 30 minutes in, they look over and they're like, "Oh my God, I'm a terrible driver." Like,
because you're pointing out all the shitty things.
Yeah, and they
like,
realize that they're
too.
doing all of that stuff that all of these people are doing, and watching how I'm doing everything beyond by the book, with safety first, rules second, everything else, following up close. And they're like, "I'm a terrible fucking driver." Like, I open minds to what's happening on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, it's not me. It's traffic.
I'm not a bad driver. I can be a little impatient sometimes,
Sure,
but I
we all
generally drive
can.
really well. I think I owe it to learning later in life. I think when you learn when you're 16, you're barely fucking paying attention. And you know just enough to pass the test.
For a lot, yeah.
But anyway.
But I just mean, like, it's dangerous. You got to treat it with the respect it deserves, and people don't. And you got in the car with me, and I told you, I might fucking yell and spit and fucking grab my sock full of ball bearings and throw it out the window. But the car won't do anything differently.
You have a sock full of ball bearings?
I wish. Oh man. Oh, I would just but the car maintains the same style of driving.
Yeah.
The same distance in front, the same wiggle room, signals, like none of that changes no matter what vitriol is coming out of my mouth, right? Like, and you've seen it, and other people see it, and they're like I've literally had someone look at me and go, I'm a terrible driver. And now they're a much better driver. Like they took all of my information into account, and they drive differently now. It's fucking crazy. But I'm kind of happy about that, because that's one more person, one more on the roads that does it. Yeah, safety first, rules second, and everything else follows that. You know, it if you do it that way, everything else just falls into place, right?
It's true.
So, yeah.
It's so true. Anyway, folks, we're going to call it a night. Thanks again for popping in and showing up and interacting in the comments. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please consider doing it, and like it and share it and all that sort of stuff.
And don't cross the solid yellows, fuck's sake.
Only if it's safe to do so. Anyway, folks, have a good night.
El Sigmar.